If your sales are stagnant and you're ready to change that, then this video is for you. I'm gonna be sharing with you the number one thing to turn your sales around and start making sales almost instantly. Before we dive on in, my name is Lee Meyer and I want to welcome you to the channel. I'm a stay-at-home mom of 4 and I've made well over $100,000 flipping used clothes and other items on sites like eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. Now I know what it's like to have slow sales or no sales, and I know how frustrating that can be, but luckily there's something that you can do about it. And I'm gonna share the best way to change things around quickly and even start bringing in sales today. Now, what I'm gonna be sharing with you, anybody can do, but it can be made faster and simpler using a tool like Vendoo. Vendoo is the cross-listing tool that I use and recommend, and I wanna give a quick shout out because they are the sponsor of this video. And down here in the description below this video, you'll actually find a link to be able to get 25% off of your first month. Using that link, you can also sign up for a free trial to go and check it out, completely free, no strings attached. So let's go ahead and jump on into the topic of today's video, and that is turning your sales around. And the one strategy that can help you do that is something that is going to boost your items in search results. They're gonna come in as fresh, brand new items when you use this strategy. And this is the strategy to actually delist your items, meaning removing them from the platform and then going and relisting them again. Whatever platform you are selling on, this is going to work for you. Whether you're selling on eBay, Poshmark, Depop, Mercari, wherever that is, Facebook Marketplace, by removing your items and then relisting them again, they're gonna come in as fresh, brand new items, and every single platform out there loves fresh, brand new items. Because the problem is, the longer items sit on a platform, the less likely they are to be shown in search results, the less likely they're to get found and get sold. And anytime you can go in and delist them, completely remove them, and then re-upload them again, relist them, you're gonna get an almost instant boost in sales. You're gonna have sales most likely the same exact day that you do that delisting and relisting. Now, like I mentioned, you can do this manually yourself from your phone or from your computer, but you can also use Vendoo. Vendoo has an amazing delist and relist feature. It's actually one of my favorite features that is built into the tool, and that's what I'm gonna show you how to use in this video because it makes this process super simple, super quick to be able to delist and relist a ton of items at once on multiple platforms and start seeing those sales turn around. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll show you exactly how to do this using Vendoo. All right, now of course you can do this manually on any platform by going to the platform, ending the listing, and then republishing the listing. And you're gonna need to do that for each listing, depending on the platform. You may be able to do it in bulk. And then you're going to need to go through platform by platform if you sell across multiple platforms. But with Vendoo, this allows you to actually be able to do all of that at once, multiple listings at once, as well as multiple platforms at once. So the way that this works is under here, in here, where it says bulk actions with this blue pull down. In there, you're going to see a bulk, delist, and relist. So you're going to click into there. Now, I do want to throw out the caveat that this is an additional feature of Vendoo. Currently, the way the fee structure is set up, it's like a superpower that you pay a little bit extra for. It's one of the add-ons. So if you have that add-on, or if you have the free trial, you actually get access to this add-on. You can click on this bulk, delist, and relist, and this is going to allow you, so you can see as soon as I click that, we're now into this bulk, delist, and relist feature, and so I can select up to 240 items at once. All right, so I'm going to select everything I've got here. I have more than 222 items, but it was what was ever pulling up with the search term crew. So I got that fixed. And I've got, 435 active here, but I can do 240 at once. So I'd have to, run through this twice to be able to get through the amount of inventory that I have. So I've gone ahead and selected all of those, and now this red button down here at the bottom is saying bulk, delist, and relist, and it's showing 240. So I'm going to go ahead and click that, and this is going to bring up the dialog box for bulk, delist, and relist. And you can see in here, you can go ahead and select which platforms you would like to be able to delist and relist to. Now, these are not all of the ones available. These are just what I have connected where I have active listings. So I want to be clear on that. If you're selling on other marketplaces, you're going to see those in here. So for me, I'm going to go through, I'll talk about eBay here in a second. I'm going to choose Mercari, and I'm going to choose Poshmark. Facebook, I'm going to leave just because I don't have a whole lot there right at the moment. Etsy, I'm also going to leave just because I've already paid the 20 cents insertion, and they're a little bit different item that I have over there on Etsy, so I'm going to leave that. And then Depop, I'll go ahead and select that. Well, I don't have a whole lot on Depop, but I'm going to go ahead and select that. Now let's talk about eBay for a quick second. Because with eBay, you do want to be a little bit careful, because if you delist your items and then you go and relist them again, it's going to count towards your free listings every month. And your free listings, that's going to depend on if you have a store, if you don't have a store, which level of store that you have. So you need to know, which one of those categories you fall in in order to know how many free listings that you get. So for me, with the amount of inventory that I have, I don't bother with the delisting or relisting on eBay, and there are other tools on eBay to be able to boost sales, such as running a sale, running promoted items. So for me, I leave that one alone. But let's say you only have 10 items or you only have 50 items. Then you could, in theory, come in, let's say you had 50 items. You could do the delist and relist approximately 5 times a month, assuming you're not going to be listing more items. So probably play it safe, 4 times a month to come in and do that if you're going to be listing more items. All right, so I've got these all set up. Once you do that, you can click this red box to confirm. And the amazing part about this, you're going to see down here in the bottom this spinning wheel, and that is going to run through your listings. And it does seem a little bit on the slow side, but what it's doing is it's actually pulling down the listing. So if I open this up, you're going to be able to see exactly what's going on. So it's already actually on these first couple of items, you're seeing a checkbox for Mercari. So it's already actually finished that item for Mercari, both delisting that item, like pulling that listing down, as well as putting a fresh, brand new copy to the Mercari platform. Now, as I've been talking, you can already see that it's gone on for both of those items and done the same thing for Poshmark. Those are not listed on Depop, so that's why you're not seeing that item come up there. But as I'm continuing to talk, you can see how it's going down the list and checking the box as it completes that delist and relist for each of those items and for each of the platforms that we selected. Now, I don't have to sit here and stare at that spinning wheel because, that's no fun. As they say, a watch pot never boils, I think is the saying. So you can actually just close that up. It's going to do its thing. You can keep tabs on the progress here where it says 5 out of 240 are complete. And so during this time, you can open up another window. You can do other things inside of Vendoo. You could, get up and do the laundry. You can type up an email. You can, do anything else on your computer. And this is going to keep working in the background while you're doing other things, whatever that is. And you're going to come back a little while later, check on this, and it's going to pop up and say that it's complete. Now, if at any time you run into needing to stop this process. So for example, I've got 240 items going right now. My computer, still works fine during this time, by the way. But if for any reason you needed to pause the process, maybe you needed to restart your computer or something, you can actually come down here and click where it says cancel the bulk delist and relist process, and it'll just stop right where it is. Now, a couple quick tips for making the most of this is to be active on doing this, be consistent on doing this. Delist and relist items need to be done on a regular basis in order to see your results pay off, in order to see your efforts pay off and sales start coming in. So I would recommend at a minimum a couple times a month per item. Depending on how many items you have, you may want to plan for a few each day to delist and relist, or maybe you set aside once or twice a week that you're going to run through the delist and relist on a portion of your items, unless you want to do it all at once, like what I'm showing you right now. The other tip for when you're doing your delist and relist is to focus on your oldest items, the items that you've had for the longest. And you can do this by coming into this pull down and going date created oldest, or you can also set up a definition for what you consider to be stalelist or stale items, meaning items that have sat there for, a certain period of time. So you can actually click on stale list in the pull down, and this is going to pull up your most stale items. And you can see that it says recently delisted and relisted because we're running it right now. To set up your definition of stalelist, you're going to come to this little person, the pull down there, and then into account preferences. From here, you're going to see a section where it says stale listing warning with a pull down where it's going to have this little yellow tag at the corner of your items. And you can set this up for the whatever time period you would like, of 15 days, 30 days, 60, 90, 120 days, or never if you want to go extreme. But you can set that up for whatever you would like stale to mean for you, and you'll get that little notification that that item is stale and that it needs refreshed. All right, so I took a nap, came back, this is done, and there were a few errors. So that's something that you may run into. I'm going to open this up so you can see exactly what I mean by those errors. Some of them are my fault from delisting the item off of Poshmark instead of on Vendoo, which is where I should have delisted the item. All right, so as I'm scrolling through this, you're seeing all of the green check marks, meaning that that delist and relist is completed. And there's going to be a few errors mixed in here just because I did 240 at once. So this is saying a new shipping label is required, and that goes back to Mercari. At one point, they did change their shipping labels. There's a minimum quantity of 1 to list. Somehow that has a quantity of 0, and that I did go ahead and open this one up. And I did put in that quantity listing, but it does look like that item's active. So I did click to view the listing from within that Mercari form, and it does look like that item is active. So you'll just need to go through here once you complete that delist and relist, and make sure that there's not anything funky going on. So I've got a couple of items there on Depop that had expired, so I can't delist those. Those do need just refreshed. And I'm continuing to scroll through here, and they're pretty much all green checkmarks that you're seeing. I'm seeing one right here that does not look like, it looks like it's a quantity issue, so I would need to go in and fix that. But as you can see, almost all of these are, I had one right here, and that one, that item was actually sold. So let me go ahead. You can click on any of those in that list, by the way, and that is going to pull up the Vendoo listing form, and you're going to be able to take a closer look at this item from within there. So you can see that it's marked delisted, sold on Mercari. For some reason, this didn't get delisted from Poshmark. So yes, delist. I want that delisted since it was sold, and it may be possible that that item did have an active offer when that item was sold over on Mercari. Now, a couple other things that I quickly want to mention. First up, when you do this delist and relist and your item is posted as a fresh, brand new item, that is actually not going to change the date within Vendoo, which is exactly what you want because you want to know when you got that item and when you first originally listed it, not necessarily when it was delisted and relisted to the new platform. You'll know that too. You really want that original listing so you can know in your inventory exactly how long you've had each item. Now, the second thing that I want to point out is that for Poshmark, there's actually a special setting within Vendoo that will allow you to delist and relist even if you have active offers available. And maybe you don't want that on, but the choice is up to you. So I'll show you how to do that. And you're going to come to this person and you're going to go into Marketplace Connections. From here, you're going to scroll down to the Poshmark platform. You're going to click where it says Poshmark settings. And so once you've clicked that, you're going to see that I do have auto sales detection on. That is what allows Vendoo to delist your items from other platforms when a sale is detected on Poshmark. But you're also going to see here a second toggle where it says delist and relist items with offers. So if I hover over this, this explains a little bit more. When delisting and relisting, Vendoo will delist items even if they have active offers. You can turn that on or you can turn that off. It was actually set to off and I did go and turn that on. But you can set that up whichever way that you would like that, and then make sure that you have that connected or that you reconnect that platform. Once your items are delisted and relisted, the last thing that you'll want to do is you'll want to keep your eye out for offers that come in, new likers or new watchers to be able to send offers to, because I can guarantee that you will have an influx of those as soon as those items are delisted and relisted, usually within a few hours, and hopefully you'll have some new sales along with those. I'd recommend using this delist and relist strategy at least several times a week, if not every single day, depending on how many items that you have listed. And you should start seeing that turnaround in sales happen very quickly. And if you're looking for another way to take your sales up a level, then you're gonna wanna check out this video where I go through another strategy to give you an almost instant sales boost. And again, if you haven't tried out Vendoo, remember that 25% off your first month link that you'll find down there in the description below this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will catch you in the next video soon.